Hello, this is Lucas Marquardt again for the Thoroughbred Daily News. It is Wednesday, May 12th. We are back for the second leg of the Triple Crown, the Preakness Stakes at Pimlico near Baltimore, trying to show you some more behind-the-scenes action that you might not get a chance to see elsewhere. Frankly, there wasn't too much to show you from this morning. All was quiet around Pimlico. It was a dark day here, and only a handful of the stake horses for the weekend had arrived. One trainer who did have horses on the grounds was D. Wayne Lucas. Lucas arrived yesterday with Preakness hopeful Dublin, as well as probable Black-Eyed Susan favorite Tidal Pool. The pair stretched their legs this morning over a muddy track, then grazed a little bit as Lucas answered questions from reporters. Dublin is coming off a 7th place effort in the Derby. He has drawn the 12th hole for the Preakness. Garrett Gomez hops aboard after being taken off Lookin at Lucky. Tidal Pool, meanwhile, drew the 6th hole for Friday's Black-Eyed Susan. She's 8-5 in the morning line. Coming off a 3rd in the Kentucky Oaks, Calvin Burrell retains the mount. Later in the afternoon, action did pick up. A plane that originated in California had picked up Caro Cortado, stopped in Kentucky to pick up horses there, arrived in Baltimore around 2 o'clock, and by 4 o'clock a number of vans had arrived at Pimlico. One of the very first horses off the van was Kentucky Derby winner Super Saver. Todd Pletcher led him off the van himself. The Windstar Homebred looked very well, had plenty of energy, but settled right down afterward and got a bath. Super Saver drew well for the Preakness. He leads from the 8th hole under Calvin Burrell, and he's been made the 5-2 morning line choice. Second choice on the morning line is Lookin at Lucky, who is also on that plane from Kentucky. 6th in the Kentucky Derby. He finally caught a break after so much hard luck in recent months. He has drawn the 7th hole for the Preakness, 1 inside Super Saver. He was installed at 3-1 odds. Young Martin Garcia will ride for the first time after, as we mentioned, trainer Bob Baffert opted to make the change from Gomez. Patio Prado, 3rd in the Derby, will lead from post 10 in the mile and 3/16 Preakness. Kent DeSomro is up, and Nick Zito's Jackson Ben, 12th in the Derby, goes from post 6 with Mike Smith in the irons. As usual, there are plenty of new shooters in the Preakness, including Dogwood Stables' Aconite. Now, Aconite is still eligible for a first-level allowance, but he's run well in Grade 1 company. He finished 3rd in last year's Hopeful and 2nd in the Breeders' Futurity, and he came from way back to be 2nd in the Grade 3 Derby trial in his latest April 24th. Now, we could have made the Derby earnings-wise, but Connections opted to pass. They return here for the Preakness, which Dogwood won back in 1990 with Summer Squall. Aconite has drawn the rail here. Javier Castellano rides. Trainer Wesley Ward's Pleasant Prince was 3rd in the Derby trial. He's in the 3 hole here under Julien Leparoux. The lately raced Yawanna Twist has only 4 starts to his credit, but the New York bred was 2nd to Awesome Act in the Gotham 2-back, then returned to be 2nd again to American Lion. In the Illinois Derby, he goes from the 5 hole with Edgar Prado riding. And First Dude, 3rd in the Bluegrass last out, gets the services of Ramon Dominguez. He leaves from post 12. One of the other new horses who is getting some attention is the California-based Caro Cortado. Somewhat surprisingly, he's one of only 2 West Coast-based runners in the Preakness, along with Lookin at Lucky. That's after this morning's scratch of Hurricane Ike. The Chestnut rattled off 5 straight wins to begin his career, including the Grade 2 Robert B. Lewis. He ran okay when 3rd to Sydney's Candy, a horse that I still think very highly of, in the San Felipe, but he was a lackluster 4th in the Santa Anita Derby in his last start, April 3rd. In what would be just a great feel-good story if he won, Caro Cortado will be partnered with journeyman Paul Atkinson. A guy like Atkinson just doesn't get too many shots at Grade 1 races, let alone classic races. He's the only jock that's ever ridden Caro Cortado. Trainer Mike Mikowski has kept him on the horse, has confidence in him, and it would be a great story if they were able to pull it off.